he showed us.
Walker, of course, you know, man, everything in this room, audio, video recorded.
Yes, sir.
It'll be transcribed at the end of the investigation and put in the case file summary, okay?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to keep your hat on, man.
Okay. Hey, you never know around this place nowadays.
I'm tracking.
I appreciate it.
Well, Walker, before we go on the record, have you seen Miss Princess' complaint?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll go through the whole deal.
Okay.
But before we go on the record, do you have any questions of me before we get going?
The only thing, and this is just me, I'm not understanding. The piece of paper that I signed showed rules of conduct, but not limited to.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm not confused on the policy. I'm just confused on what specific part of the policy.
Well, and we'll go through that with the case.
Okay.
So it just depends on whatever, once it gets to the point where it goes to CSRB, they'll determine whatever parts of that policy
Right.
and or others
Okay.
that they feel were violated.
Okay.
So that's just like a starting point.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, at bare minimum, rules of conduct,
Right.
and we'll just see whatever else is may
Okay.
need to be addressed.
Okay.
Type deal. Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right. Well, before we go on the record, Morphis, I tell you, we'll go through this thing step by step. We're gonna take it slow, and I ask a lot of questions and get you to explain some things, and we're just gonna lay it all out there. Okay. All right. If no other questions, I left my daggone phone and my this clock on my wrist ain't right.
That's
let me
right.
Let me get off my phone.
Okay, you good.
All right, we ready to rock now. All right, Walker, we're going to go on the record. Today is Wednesday, October the 30th of 2024. The time is now 12:58 p.m. This is Lieutenant Marcus Daniels with Arkansas State Police, Office of Professional Standards. I am at State Police Headquarters in Little Rock, and today I'm speaking with Trooper First Class Christian Walker Morphis. So, Morphis, before we get into the complaint, I want to tell you, and I want it to be on the record. In totality, looking at this investigation, looking at the allegations, looking at the complaint, me personally, I feel that there are some areas that you can improve in as far as your law enforcement, the way you handle your business.
Yes, sir.
If anything, I want that to be the biggest takeaway from all of this. Where can I get better at in doing my job?
Yes,
Okay, and we'll hit a bunch of different little things. I want to caution you about being upfront, being honest. One thing about a lie, once you tell a lie, you have to tell several little lies to keep that lie going.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to let you know this is the time. Be open, be honest about what took place, what didn't take place, and we'll get through this,
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So Morphis, we're speaking today due to a complaint that Miss Amanda Prince filed on you from an arrest that took place December the 17th of 2023. And I believe you said you have not seen her complaint?
No, sir, not the formal complaint. No, sir.
Okay. You signed and acknowledged the complaint on October the 18th of this year at about 9 a.m. She filed the complaint on October the 15th, and we received it about 10:34 a.m. Does that sound about right? As far as when you signed it, acknowledged it.
LT, I don't remember. I mean, if I signed it, but I just
No,
don't remember.
I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. That's your signature down at the bottom, correct? That's the form that you was talking about that you signed.
Yes. Okay. That
Yes.
is so. Yes, I signed that with Captain. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so that's basically saying that you know that there's a complaint.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry. I wasn't tracking.
No, we're tracking. So Morphis, in preparation as we go through all of this, just want you to let you know the investigative efforts that we took, and we took it collectively as a unit, man. We went to the car wash. We talked to Mr. James Slaughter. We talked to Daniel Weegley. Talked to Frank Spain. Talked to Tim Leonard. Man, we tried to check every box to see what happened in this complaint. Got video audits. I know when you watch the videos, when the videos were uploaded. I mean, there's just every little thing that we could have put our hands on. We put our hands on it. I got the time that you went to the car wash, the time you left. We tried to be as thorough in this deal as possible.
Yes, sir.
And I want to let you know that up front as you answer these questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is what Miss Amanda Prince is alleging took place. This is word for word things that are in her complaint, okay?
Okay.
I'm just going to read it to you. She stated, during my arrest for driving while suspended, I was subjected to an unlawful search of my vehicle based on unfounded assumptions and a lack of probable cause. Despite my clear statements that I possessed no illegal items, the officers persisted in their invasive actions, exhibiting intimidation and harassment throughout the encounter. The subsequent baseless charges against me, including possession of cocaine, were not only unfounded but were also dismissed in court due to a complete lack of evidence. She also states, it has come to my attention that video evidence indicates the potential planting of drugs by Officer Walker Morphis, which raises severe concerns regarding the integrity of this officer and the department as a whole. Such behavior is unacceptable and undermines public trust in law enforcement. She also lists several points that she felt were a violation of her civil rights. Amongst those were, she stated, false arrest. The unfounded charges brought against me constitute a clear case of false arrest and malicious prosecution. Intimidation and coercion. The officers involved engaged in conduct designed to intimidate, creating a hostile environment that is entirely unacceptable. She stated loss of property. I lost my deceased father's truck because I couldn't afford to get it out of impound. Fabrication of evidence, defamation. This arrest has publicly humiliated me, has cost me my job, my children, and family. She listed emotional distress and perjury. He testified under oath that the drugs were mine. So that is the basis of her complaint, and I believe she's seen the video and she sent in another sheet just basically going through the entire stop. Okay. But that's what she's complaining, and that's going to be what we're going to discuss, okay?
Yes, sir.
So first off, Walker, I want to go back to you all's encounters with Miss Prince. And I believe you encountered her October 4th of 2023. Location was Highway 65, Lundy Road, where she was charged with failure to register vehicle, driving on suspended, and no insurance. You remember that stop?
I do. She had a passenger in the vehicle, if I'm not mistaken. I remember, other than stopping her, I don't remember any details about it.
Okay.
I mean, we had several encounters prior to this stop in question.
Do you remember if you searched the vehicle on that time?
LT, I don't. I would imagine I did, just, but I don't recall specifically.
But you do recall that there were no drugs found on that time. She wasn't charged with any drugs.
Yeah, LT, she wasn't charged.
Okay. Then October the 24th, Tyler Grant got her again for the same three charges on 278 bypass and Highway 425. I was able to review that video. The first one was already off the server. but I was able to review this one. He did an inventory search. He towed the vehicle, and he didn't locate any drugs on him that time. Then November the 25th to 23, he got her again. I believe this time her passenger had a warrant. He didn't locate any drugs on her. He did a consent search. No drugs were found. Didn't tow the vehicle because the passenger had a warrant. He took her to jail, and I believe he let Miss Prince drive off. Then that brings us to the December the 17th, 23 stop that you got her on Bowser Road. So, what do you know about Miss Prince? Is she known to carry drugs, or what's her story?
So, talking with DTF or James Slaughter, DTF, and word of mouth, if you can take that, I've heard from several different sources, and as well as speaking with people in the community, just in regards, her name has came up, that everyone has told me that she's known to carry drugs.
Okay.
Mostly from what I gather, it's methamphetamine, but regardless, this has been the only time, to my knowledge, that I've actually, well, I thought it was her, got her with drugs.
Got you. Do you know if she has any, and I tried to ask Mr. Slaughter this, do you know if she has any open or pending drug charges, cases open on her now?
No, sir, I don't know.
So let's talk about the stop, December 17th. Walk me, what was your probable cause for stopping Miss Prince?
Registered owner of the vehicle, and I knew she was suspended for previous encounters.
Okay. So you had ran the tag, did you just
I recognized the truck.
Okay.
I'm sure I ran the tag to confirm it, but I recognized her truck.
Okay. And you just knew she was suspended?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you blue light her, she travels a little ways and pulls into that little gravel area. Why did you get her out the truck before you went through your whole bias-based policing statement?
Because I had a pathetic attitude.
Yeah.
I just, this stop, and I may be getting ahead, but this stop and the stop prior to this, 2 or 3 days prior, that had came into question, there was a string of 6 to 8 months where I had a pathetic attitude. I can sit here and tell you excuse A to B to Z, and it's not going to make a difference. It doesn't excuse my attitude. None of that excuses my attitude. I had an attitude problem. I'm aware of that. I'm working on it. I can't tell you it's 100% fixed, but I can tell you that we're miles from where we started.
Okay.
So I don't, other than just a pathetic attitude, I really don't have an answer.
Because watching it, listening to it, it appears as if you were pissed off at her.
Yes, sir. And I think honestly, I was just mad. I was at work.
Okay.
Honestly, if I had a pathetic attitude, and it's an embarrassment to the agency. It's an embarrassment to me. I hate that you've probably watched this video 20 times. The command staff has watched it. I hate it.
Yeah.
It looks horrible, and I know it does. That's if we take away this uniform and all the honor that it brings, and just me as a man, that's not the person that I want to be, and I'm embarrassed that I was at that time acting in that way. It's immature, it's undisciplined, and it's unexcusable, and I hate it.
Now, to add to that, when I'm talking to these prosecutors and defense attorneys, and they're saying, well, it probably didn't help, because the way he was acting.
Right.
It's just something you need to consider.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir. But, and I understand. I've had to testify or apologize in open court several times for my attitude in that time frame, and I'm facing the repercussions of it every day. And it's all I can tell you and the command staff is I'm working on it. I know it's a problem, and I'm going to fix it.
The main thing is that you're aware and you're,
Yes,
you're
sir.
on the path to correct it.
Yes, sir.
That's all anybody can ask, man. I noticed during that encounter with Miss Prince, you asked her several times if she had anything illegal on her purse or in the truck. Why was that? Were you just assuming, or?
So she was more nervous that stop than she had been from when I had previously stopped her. I think I made mention of it on my camera. I cut my camera on the inside of my car to dark mode where the screen was off, just because she was super nervous.
Right.
She was acting off, and I'm sure my attitude didn't. Well, I know my attitude didn't help anything. She was just acting more nervous than usual, so I was assuming based off her action or off her behavior that she may have something on her person.
What can you pinpoint? And I know you went back and reviewed it, and like you stated, we have reviewed it several times. And even watching her interact with you all, you and Tyler, on previous stops, what was you perceiving her to be so nervous? I mean, what was she doing to alert you to think that she was nervous?
Just her body language. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. It was something noticeable that day that made me raise a suspicion to it. And I don't know if there's anything that I can specifically tell you now. I went and watched the video. Captain and I watched the video. But there was something that day that made me say that several times, and then made me cut my camera to dark mode on the inside of my car. That just made me feel as though she had something on her person. And it may have been me taking everybody else's opinions and statements about her, that she's known to carry drugs, that you took that and ran with it.
Okay. So the perceived behavior that she, is in the drug game in some kind of way.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Morphis, I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't out there. That was your stop. Just watching it. I was trying to find where maybe she's acting nervous.
Yes, sir.
She was. Me on the outside looking in, she was cool and calm with
Right.
you the entire stop.
Yes, sir.
So but that's your. I mean, you're out there dealing with her. That's your perception. So you cuffed her, and you just put. Why didn't you do any kind of pat down on her, man?
The only thing I can think of was I had tunnel vision, and hey, this is the however many times we've stopped you going to jail. I'm ticked off because I'm at work and having to deal with you again. So we're just going to jail for driving unsuspended. In my video, I told her because she was a female, but you and I both know, of course we're limited, but that doesn't completely prohibit checking for weapons and all that.
I know teaching traffic stop. You're trained how to pat down
Yes, sir,
females
absolutely.
in front of your camera,
Yes, sir.
backside of your palm. You know how to do all those
Yes,
things.
sir.
You just had tunnel vision on looking through that truck. Or?
I did. I was, like I said, I was mad. I was there. I was mad the whole time. It's just a pathetic attitude. I mean, I wish I had an answer.
To add to that, man, officer safety, man. People,
bad.
ain't no telling what. I mean, she could have had a blade. She could have had
Yes, sir.
anything, man.
Yes, sir.
At least do some kind of pat down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was bad, no doubt.
The vehicle gets towed. You all search the truck, and looking at the video, breaking down the video, I saw when you reached in your front seat for your gloves. You searched the truck. There was something about looking under the truck. What was you trying to get under the truck for?
I've been through a class prior to that about lock boxes and magnetic boxes up under the truck.
Okay.
And I was just looking to see if there was something stuck up to the frame or something like that.
Okay. That front seat, is there where you normally keep, is it a box of gloves?
I've got a caddy that's
Okay.
got a box of gloves in my front seat.
Gotcha. Trucks get towed, and I guess Grant's there just in a support role.
Yes, sir.
Did he get any calls about Prince that day, or he just so happened to see you on the stop, or how did he come to be in there?
We were working. I was in Monticello. We were just working. working together.
Okay, just
Yeah, we try to work around each other when we're both 10-8.
so nothing planned.
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Perfect. So do he stay while the truck gets loaded up, and you go into the jail, or?
I think he left prior to the tow truck loading the vehicle.
Okay.
I think. I know he wasn't there the whole time, but I think he left prior to the tow truck getting there and loading everything.
Okay. You take her off the jail. You call it, what is it? CDF?
CDF.
CDF?
Yes, sir.
What's that stand for?
Correctional Detention Facility.
Okay. I've been there, been all up in there watching the cameras, man, and and everybody there was really helpful despite what I was doing. But,
Right.
And we're just trying to check all the boxes.
Absolutely.
Man,
You got to be thorough.
Yeah. So you take her to CDF. Is there any reason why you didn't seatbelt her in back there? Just
half cage, and I didn't want to bend over. I was being lazy. I just I was. It was a pathetic attitude. That whole 6 to 8 months. I even got a bad critique in troop school when I went and helped teach a class in troop school because of the bad attitude.
Really?
It was rough. It was rough.
So Morphis, you get her there, you get her out. Now walk me through what happened once you get her out the patrol car.
So as soon as I pull up to the Sally Port, I cut my camera. That's just, I don't know if it's good technique. It's just what I've always done. I know that there's cameras in the Sally Port.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I pull up, I cut my camera. I walk around to the back side of my car, open up the back door, ask her to step out.
Hold on, let me pause right there. Looking at this, and that was one of my questions. You cut your camera off, but then you cut it right back on.
So I cut it off, and then the way I understand, or the way I remember it, is I cut it off. And then whenever I asked her to step out and I see the bag of crack cocaine at her feet, I immediately cut it back on because I didn't want there to be a gap in video for court or whatever else, So I that's the best way I can remember it. It's because I know there's 3 different videos there.
Right.
And I did that so there wasn't a gap from the time that I cut my camera to the time that I asked her to step out and I found it. So we couldn't say that I planted it.
Right.
Right? Because I knew that that's where this was going to go as soon as she said it wasn't hers.
So when you watch it, when you're driving from the initial stop, you take her, once you pull up and tell CDF to open up the Sally Port,
Yes, sir.
You cut it off.
Yes, sir. As soon as I pull up to the Sally Port, I reach up there and I hit stop.
Okay. But then when you cut it back on, it goes back and captures you driving to the jail.
So I recorded after the fact.
Okay.
There's one of those videos is from the time of the stop to the time that I ride or pull up at Sally Port. And then there's another one after I find the dope at her feet, and then I went back and recorded after the fact just to make sure that there wasn't any gaps because I didn't know when the minute stopped for the next video. I didn't want there to be a gap at all.
Okay. All right, you can continue.
So ask her to step out. Whenever she steps out, I see the bag at her feet.
Okay.
I don't know if she's already at the front of my car, or I ask her to go stand at the front of my car, open up my passenger door, reach in, grab another glove, and then go back and pull the dope from the floorboard. So it's that half cage, and there's a bar that comes up under the passenger seat, and it was right under that bar, right near her right foot.
Okay.
And when I opened up the door to ask her to step out, all I saw was just a clear bag, and immediately recognized, hey, that's probably dope.
Okay.
So I went up, grabbed a glove, came back, grabbed the dope. I initially thought it was meth. Asked her about it, and immediately she denied it, and we went into the Sally Port from there.
Okay. So you get her out. So as she's stepping out, you immediately see it down at her feet.
To the best I remember, yes.
Okay. And then you have her step in front of the patrol car.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you retrieve it. You get a glove and you retrieve it, and you present it to her. Why didn't you? I mean, and we all do it differently. I probably would have took a picture of it where it was located and put it on my put it in front of the camera. Why didn't you just do the whole? I mean, for a strong court case.
It never crossed my mind.
Yeah,
I had tunnel vision. I was one track. It never crossed my mind.
Right.
And Captain brought that point up to me as well. He said, "Why didn't you take a picture of it where it was?" And it never crossed my mind.
Okay.
It should have. I should have been way more thorough, and this would have never happened. But
gotcha.
I had tunnel vision. I was in a one-track mind. I was trying to rush everything for no reason. It's not like we had anything to do. It was just bad.
Okay. Now, Morphis, for the sake of this complaint, I have to ask.
Yes, sir.
When you went to the car wash,
Yes, sir.
you didn't locate this dope at the car wash?
No, sir.
Okay. You didn't have this dope in your front seat the
No,
whole
sir.
time?
No, sir. Absolutely not.
Okay. And from the time that you get to the jail, I know you went to the car wash about 3:06, 3:02. Went into the car wash at 3:04. You come out the car wash at 3:06. You went to the vacuums 3:06 to 3:10. Then you leave the car wash altogether at 3:11. And at some point later on within that hour, you make contact with Miss Prince.
Yes, sir.
So when she was telling you that it was not hers, what was going through your mind then?
That I just left the car wash and I didn't see it, so it had to be hers.
Mm-hmm.
I put everything in when I vacuumed out my back seat. That bag of dope was not there. I didn't see that bag of dope. So, and I knew that she was the only person in my back seat after vacuuming it out.
Okay.
So I put everything into that. It's not mine, and it wasn't there when I vacuumed my car out, so it has to be hers.
Did you vacuum down there? Where all did you vacuum?
I did. So I vacuumed my seat, my driver's seat, and then I reached across and tried to get my passenger side floorboard, and then I opened up that back passenger door and vacuumed that area just to get all the dirt and all that stuff out of there.
Right. So you're saying here today that you did put the vacuum down there in the floorboard?
To the best I remember, yes, sir.
Yeah. And you never saw it?
No, sir. I did not see that bag of dope prior to stopping her.
These are your comments, quote for quote. You told her all I have to do is go pull the camera back. You told her 10 minutes before I just searched my car and it wasn't there. You also told her that I checked my car at the beginning and end of my shift and I checked it and it wasn't there. At any point did you go and review your camera?
So, if I did, I don't remember, but if I did, I know I would have viewed it on my little screen because it takes a minute down there to upload because of the internet. So I would have viewed it on that little screen. Again, LT, I put everything in. I was just at the car wash and I didn't see it.
Okay. So you're saying you're not sure if you reviewed your camera?
I don't remember. I don't want to tell you one thing and not be truthful. I don't remember, honestly. I know I reviewed it prior to court, but I don't remember if I reviewed it prior to calling DTF and typing up the charge on eSite.
Well, so Morphis, this is the concern. Why did you list it in your incident report?
If I typed it, I reviewed it.
Okay.
LT, I'm not trying to spin around the point. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to tell you that I sat here and I reviewed it if I don't remember vividly sitting in my car and saying, "Hey, this is where she tossed it." I don't remember. I'll say this: if I typed it in my incident report that I reviewed my camera, I feel confident in telling you that I reviewed my camera.
But that's a pretty big turning point for your whole charge on her because of the details that you put in your incident report. Anybody on the outside looking in would know that he went out and reviewed his camera before he charged her.
Right.
But so, mind you, we looked at all of this, Morphis. So either this report is a lie, or it's not a lie.
Right.
So I'm going to read you what you wrote. Immediately after stepping out, I observed a clear baggie with a white substance, which later field tested positive for cocaine in the floorboard that was not there prior to Miss Prince being in my vehicle. Shortly before I contacted Miss Prince, I had washed my car and vacuumed out my back seat in the immediate area where Miss Prince was. There was also red footprints where a white substance was. This red clay was transferred from Miss Prince's shoes from the location of the traffic stop. A review of my backseat camera revealed Miss Prince moving very erratically for a short period of time and appeared to be digging in her waistline shortly before the narcotics were found. Now, Walker, I know that you reviewed this video, the whole 42 minutes with your captain.
Yes, sir.
Major Casey has reviewed it. My team has reviewed it several different ways. Miss Prince never did that.
Okay.
She never did that. We handcuffed one of the civilian ladies here, similar height and size, to determine the type of movement it would take to get those narcotics from her waistline, as you stated, to the floorboard. It's impossible, man.
Okay.
So my question is to you, why put this in your incident report?
If I put it in my report, I sat there and I watched it on that small screen. At no point throughout this entire, from the time that I wrote that, the time that I stopped her, the time that I found the narcotics, the time that I wrote that report, to the time that I testified in court, at no point throughout this entire thing have I intended or have I lied about anything that I remember. So if I wrote that, at some point I went back and I reviewed my camera. I just can't tell you, LT, that at this date, at this time, I sat down and watched my camera.
Okay. But listen to what you wrote. A review of my backseat camera revealed Miss Prince moving very erratically for a short period of time and appeared to be digging in her waistline shortly before the narcotics were found. So that would be shortly before the time that you located it, either on the way to the jail or while you had pulled up at the jail. Right. This is what you wrote. Right. Shortly before the narcotics were found.
So there's the time that, and Captain and I went back and watched it, and the prosecutor and I went back and watched it before court. There's a time that after the tow truck arrives, that it's now from this side looking in, it's minute, but at the time, she's here on like her right side, that she's moving around and turning around like this. That's the only time that I can sit here and tell you that I'm calling erratic movement.
Okay.
Because Captain and I sat down and watched this 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, sat down and watched it, and he asked me specifically, at what time are you saying that she allegedly tossed the dope? And there was one time in there that I told him that possibly.
Okay.
That's the only time that I can tell you that I'm calling erratic movement was. And
so, Morphis, let me tell you the concern with that. In order to have noted that, you would have had to watch your video from start to finish while at the jail. I have the time that you made your very next stop after you left the jail. It's you had made another stop within the hour, so you had already left the jail before you had charged her. So you see what I'm saying? So your report is saying that you knew Miss Prince dropped the dope because she was moving erratically, but you hadn't even reviewed any of that before you charged her.
When was that report? Does it tell you when I typed that report?
Yeah, the report was submitted on. I think that may be still in the office.
I'm assuming that it's a couple days after the
fact. The report was submitted a few days after the fact.
So maybe, and again, this is me just knowing how I operate. Usually, I type reports a few days after the stop. So when I wrote that, maybe I'm talking about when I reviewed it prior to writing that. So after we had already left the jail, and I went and typed the report.
But it doesn't. That's not what it says. It said a short period of time and appeared to be digging in her waistline shortly after the narcotics were found. That means after you found them.
After the narcotics were found?
That's what you wrote.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
No. Shortly before the narcotics were found. So basically, when you found them, you went back and your report is stating that you went back and reviewed to see if she could have dropped them.
Okay.
But that didn't occur. Your report, this is after you already left the jail, you've charged her, you called GTF the same day. The case was already made. You had already charged her with this crime before you had did your homework to make sure that they came from her. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So,
I see what you're saying now. And like I said, I guess, again, I put everything in. I didn't put it there, it wasn't there, or I didn't see it prior to me stopping her. So I'm just going to assume that it's hers.
Right.
That report, the only thing I can think of is that a few days after the fact, before I went and submitted the report, I went back and watched the video, and that's why I typed that, is because I reviewed the video prior to typing the report.
So again, Morphis, I can tell when you review them.
Yes, sir.
That didn't happen. You never. I got the log right, the audit log right here. There was never a time where you went and it was uploaded to the server and you reviewed the stop before you
even on
filed
my small screen.
So you're saying that you would have watched your video, the entire stop on your small screen?
No, sir, not the entire video, but possibly the point from where the tow truck, or where she was in my back seat, pulled up the secondary video, pulled it up and sat there and hit the 20-second and fast forwarded to where you could see her doing a lot of moving and stuff.
So when would you have done that, though?
Well, it had to have been. It had to have been prior to me calling or charging her. Is there a? Gosh, I wish there was a camera outside the Sally Port where you could see me standing there. I'm trying to think. I don't want to tell you one thing that's not the truth. I'm trying to think. I know that in times I sit in my car and I watch the small screen, and because you know better than I do, you can hit the 20-second and fast forward it. I don't want to sit here and tell you one thing and then I'll be truthful, but I feel confident in saying that at some point before I wrote those tickets, I went back and I watched her in my back seat. Now,
hold on, Morphis, because I just asked you that question and you said that you
got my gears turning.
You couldn't say. You said you couldn't, and I said that's an important piece of this case.
Right.
And you said that you couldn't say that you did that.
Well,
now you're saying that you did.
I can't say I did or I didn't. I know how I work, and I feel like I did. I want to tell you I did. I feel like I did. I just don't. I wish there was a dang camera that pointed out there.
They have the cameras. They just don't go back that far. We tried.
Let me think of it. I don't.
So think about from the time you were in the jail, and you're not to charge somebody with felonies such as this. This is a felony.
Yes, sir.
10 grams crack cocaine, possession with intent to deliver. She's facing up to 6 years for this charge. You're not going to go and fast forward through trying to see where you think. I think maybe you look back for just a little bit, even if you did that, to see if she was moving erratically. But if you'd have went and watched your whole stop, that took place sometime well after the charges were filed, because, like I said, at 5:39, you was making another traffic stop 20-some miles away from the jail. So you had already dropped her off, charged her, and was gone.
I feel like, and this is not me. I feel like I remember, and my gosh, please hear my heart. I'm not trying to lie in any shape, form, or fashion. I feel like I remember myself and Ty Grant sitting in my front seat and watching that small screen. Going and hitting the secondary camera, watching the back camera, because you couldn't see a whole lot of it because I had a rifle and a shotgun, and watching what I called erratic movements.
When did that take place?
It would have had to have taken place after I went and walked her in the Sally Port, or walked her in the jail and set her down with jail staff and walked back out. Is there a way that we can go back and record after the fact and watch me walking back.
Too far back. So let me give you another scenario. You get her there. You show her this dope that you believe to be meth. You toss it on the front of your car. Did you know that you left it out there?
Mm-hmm.
You went into jail. The sally port door closed. The dope still sitting on the top of your car.
No, I didn't even realize that.
So you're in there. You're going through your spiel with her. You read your rights, and then you come back out, and then that's when you get the dope, and then you go around and you cut your camera off. So I'm hung up on this incident report and the things that you stated in your incident report, and I'll just tell you, Morphis, looking at this and even talking to the command staff, the way it's viewed is if you were trying to make your court case.
Okay.
And if that's the case, because I'm telling you, even when the tow truck got there and we broke it down, she looked back, her hands were still up against the back of your car. There's at no point is she digging in her waistline. And I'm just going to tell you, Morphis, that's a lie. She never dug in her waistline. Okay. The erratic moving, her turning her head, is the most moving that she did. Okay. Like I said, I have a video on here where there's a civilian employee handcuffed in her back, dressed similar to how Miss Prince was dressed, to see the amount of movement it would take to get to dig in her waistline and get some narcotics down to her feet. It's no way.
Yes, sir.
If that's the case, I understand that well, I'm going to put this because I want my court case to be strong. And Morphis, you lost to a public defender,
right?
So you know that the case wasn't strong.
Right.
Your incident report wasn't even submitted with the case file that James Stem had. Right. Why was that?
I don't have an answer for that. I didn't find that out until I met with the prosecutor a week or so before the case, and didn't realize that I didn't submit it. I didn't even realize that it wasn't submitted to DTF.
So that's questionable. I mean, even talking to your captain, and you lieutenant, I would have figured that would have been in there. I talked to James, he was like, any other time we always get the incident report. I don't know in this case why not. So that looks questionable. Like you knew this report was written fluffy, and you didn't give it to him. You even told James them the same thing. Agent Slaughter spoke to Trooper Morphis, and he advised that in patrol car camera shows Prince moving around in the rear seat of the patrol car. Trooper Morphis stated Prince turned all the way around at one time, and this is when he believes she dropped the bag of white substance. At no point did she turn all the way around, Morphis.
Was it not so there's a point when the tow truck pulls up that I'm sitting on Bowser Road, and she's facing this way, and she did this movement.
You finna pull it up?
Okay.
That's the only way I know how to do it.
Yes, sir.
Pull it up. So this would be the complete stop. This would be while you're still out at the scene.
Okay.
And I just want you to understand that the radio report reads that you observed her doing this before you found him. Not way back when, and even way back when she never did it. But I want to pull it up so we can watch it together. We're going to switch to the back camera.
I'm trying. I just got insurance and tags on my truck, and I go to court Tuesday, and we're gonna take care of that.
Fire, yeah.
224, 425,000.
Red James is here.
436, you know, they can call them. 436, you know, they can call them. Maybe I'll take this thing. Next one's everything in the truck and one pump?
No,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Okay. Just asking.
Her hands are positioned on top of her shirt for the entire time. For her to have gotten dope down here, she would have had to turn all the way around.
Roll for a minute.
The demonstration we did was only able to get it over her to the right side, not way up here where her feet were at.
This is what happens when we get so lenient that we don't do the first or the second time. We just keep doing it. $3,200 check. Her name. They even couldn't make on the check.
Not bad for Walmart. Where only 200 kids.
She's nervous.
40.
More nervous.
So I have charge board. 4 a.m. I have charge board. 4 a.m.
Boat, scooting, buggy. That's all there. That's loose.
Air 36 14
No, that goes to something. Yeah. That goes to something. Well, when Reggie picks it up, we'll look up under. That key goes to something on that shifter. Yeah, that key goes to something. But if it's a wallet box, it should be big. I think that's just a grab door. Something's grabbing it. Come and put your flashlight away. Yeah. Well, I turned my display off. I didn't turn my camera off, obviously, but I turned my display off on my camera so she doesn't know that it's on, so maybe she's shoving something. We'll go back and search my seat after we get her out. Where's she live at? Oh, that's good. It's like 34 That's good. Yeah. She had. But she got one down. Yeah, we'll look under it whenever Reggie picks it up. He absolutely goes to something. I didn't see them. Her damn pants were so tight you could tell there wasn't nothing on.
Are you talking about weapons?
Yes, sir. There's not a whole lot of places. You can sort of pick a box in this thing. You okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
My hands are numb, but it's okay.
We got policies and procedures to follow.
I understand.
All right. Waiting on
Reggie's gonna get your truck, whenever he gets your truck, he'll run to jail.
Since I got insurance, why is it got to be
Because
the other times I didn't have insurance and stuff on it?
this is what it's cost. So that's why it's getting impounded, because you're operating without a license.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Okay, but I have court Tuesday and was going to try to take care of the whole license.
Well, you shouldn't have drove today. You're just full of excuses.
No, I'm not.
Not really
I
interested.
started working for the Minottis, and I've been working, and that's how I paid my taxes and got tax and insurance.
So today you're coming from the grocery store.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Hands in the same position. You can see them clearly on top of her shirt. She knows she's going to jail. And now at this point, for somebody with that amount of crack on them,
We can't have somebody come pick it up. Yeah, that's what I told her. Yep. She quickly threw out the Minotti's name. She said, I'm working for the Minotti's. I said, okay.
That's the only time that I saw that I said she completely turned around.
Morphis, you know, you see her hands.
LT, I do now. Yes, sir.
She turned, looked, and turned right back around. There's no way she could.
You need to.
How's she gonna toss? I mean, how is it gonna get down here? If the dope had been back here,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, I give you that. But the dope was way up here at her feet. You see what I'm saying?
I do. From sitting on this side after court and after everything that's taking place, I absolutely agree with you.
Well, my question is, had you reviewed all of this before you charged her? Why not send the dope to the crime lab for fingerprints?
Never crossed my mind.
So you're playing with her life, man. You're talking about 6 years, Class A felony. You know, you're not 100% that the dope is hers.
No, sir, I wasn't.
But the way you articulated in your report, you're saying things that she didn't do, man. That's what I'm trying to communicate to you. You've also told this to DTF. You got them involved, and now they're going off what you're telling them, and they're going through with a case file without your police report. They just got what you said, that she turned all the way. James wrote that you told him that she turned all the way around. That means that she then turned all the way around versus turning her head. So, man, this was a terrible case to present to the courts, man. You know. Looking at your report, okay, well, he said he reviewed it. She was moving very erratically and digging in her waistline. That never occurred, Morphis. That never occurred. So, was you trying to build a case? I mean, what was going through your head when you typed this?
There's not any point that up until 2-3 weeks ago, whenever this complaint got started, and Captain told me that there was a complaint that had been filed, even after we lost it in court, there was never a doubt in my mind that it was hers. I felt good about it. I felt confident about it. Up until, like I said, Captain called me and said, hey, she's filed a complaint, and that was when it was a troop level, and then, of course, it came to Little Rock. But even testifying in open court, if there was even a time that I thought that it wasn't hers, there's no way I would have got on there and testified that it was hers. It was I don't know. It was sitting from this side of it, listening to Cap, LT, and you and everybody else. I'm glad the justice system did what it did, but at the time I felt confident that it was a good arrest.
So, okay, let's look at it this way. Your case is built upon the fact that you vacuumed your car, you didn't see the dope then, and she's the only person been in there. Why not leave it there? It's when you add these extra layers about her moving erratically, you even talking about the red clay from the stop. So it's like you're trying to persuade somebody
The red clay, I remember the red clay.
Right.
I vividly remember that. It was,
Okay.
I mean, it was just dirt from her feet.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I can think of, and there's no way that I can sit here and look you in the eyes and tell you, there's no way that I lied about that report.
Mm-hmm.
When I typed that report, I know better, and I'm not that type of man that's going to lie on a report.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm saying in that report that I went back and viewed it, at some point I went back and viewed it. And if there's not a log on it, the only thing I can think of is that it was in that little bitty screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it from my car on that little bitty screen. I just...
Where can you testify? Where's the evidence of her moving very erratically, digging in her waistline? Where is that at?
The very erratically is her moving her head around and I'm trying to make it.
That's not erratically. Erratically is, oh shit, I'm finna get ready. I need to get. She's turning her head, man. That's not moving erratically. You know this based off your training and experience. She never dug in her waistline. Where'd you get that from?
The only thing I can think of is when she turned around like that and her hands. I see what you're saying, that her hands are on top of her shirt.
Her hands stayed on top of her shirt the whole time.
I see what you're saying from looking at it right here. This is the first time I've noticed that. Seeing what you're saying, I see that.
But when you put something in an official police report, and if you and I told you I can look and see. If I'm you, I'm going to upload this. As soon as this upload, she's at the jail. I'm going to watch this to make sure before I charge her with this A felony.
Right.
But it just looked like it was a shitty police report, man. It's a shitty arrest.
It was rushed. It was rushed. I had other things on my mind. It was a bad arrest, and it is. Sitting from this side, I know that now. Like I said, up until this complaint was filed, even after we lost it in court, I still felt confident about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to talking about it, Captain and I got to talking about it, and peeling back the layers of it, and I realize that now.
Why did you call a DTF?
So we either run things through DTF or David Toomey, our CID.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Monticello. They have an office in Monticello. They're familiar with her. Just called them.
Did Slaughter ever look at this video?
I don't know if he did specifically. I know the prosecutor and I reviewed it. I know for sure from start to finish, a week or so before the trial, 3 or 4 days, a week or so, something like that before the trial, we sat in his office in Monticello and watched.
So Daniel's the one that tried the case.
Yes,
Wigley, he's a deputy prosecutor, and listening to Frank talk, he said he's only been doing this for about 3 years, and he said that when Frank asked Daniel if you all ever sat down, if there ever time where you specifically pointed out where you think that she dropped the dope, and Daniel told him no, and he told Daniel to leave the room. So
there's not, and I told Captain this, and I'll tell you now on the record, there's not a specific time that at whatever 1604 that this is exactly where I saw her allegedly toss the dope. There's never been a specific time.
Right.
It was, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but again, it was just the fact that I didn't see it at the car wash. I knew she had dope history, and I saw her moving around, and I just, I wish I had a better answer for you.
And I'll state it again. I'll go with it wasn't there when you vacuumed your car. Now it's up to them to decide if they want to, prosecute the case.
Right.
It may be hers, may not be hers. Well, maybe we should send it to the Crown Lab, get fingerprints. You can also always, do affidavit, get a warrant out for it, and arrest her later if you can confirm that the dope was hers. But you all went out on a gamble where I think it was back there. She was the only person back there, and you all went through with it and ended up losing. But it's just the things that you put in your report versus the things that you told Agent Slaughter versus your report not being in the prosecuting case file. that's questionable. It doesn't look good, and I'm telling you, this part about her digging in her waistline that didn't occur. Moving erratically, if you're thinking her turning her head is moving erratically, and you know that's not the case, Morphis. You know that's fluff. You're trying to build your case, man. Based off my training experience, the things we put on paper, we're trying to, articulate. These things never happened, man. They just didn't happen. It was enough for you to put charges on her. Ultimately, you all lost in court, which is the right call. But you have to be real careful about what you put on police reports. And then now you communicate to another law enforcement entity. You're telling them things that didn't happen. She never turned all the way around. But this is what Agent Slaughter had in this case file. This is what he presented to the courts, man. I don't know how he presented this without your incident report. He just went in what you told him, and that's what they accepted.
I'm not saying he's lying by any means. I don't remember telling him that, but if that's what he said, I said I have no reason to doubt it.
That's what he's.
I said I have no reason to doubt it. As far as not turning an incident report in, to my knowledge, that's the only time that's ever happened. Because normally that's the first thing they want is us to email them a copy of the report. Mm-hmm. Again, I didn't know that wasn't in the case file until I sat down with Daniel Wigley mm-hmm. prior to the case, and he said he didn't have it.
Nobody even knew that you did an incident report up until this investigation. When I talked to Tim Leonard, he said he did an incident report, and nobody even knew. Yes, so how do you think that's going to reflect on you? They're like, well, he did an incident report, but he never submitted it.
Oh, it looks bad. I wholeheartedly understand and agree. It doesn't look good, and I don't have an answer for it. I wish I did. Yeah. Other than, it's not an excuse. It's just it was a bad time, and it does not excuse my behavior. It was a bad time in my life. Not a bad time. I'm saying that. It was a great time in my life, mm-hmm. but I was stressed to a different level. I was exhausted. I rushed things that I shouldn't have rushed. Mm-hmm. I was immature, complacent, way too complacent, mm-hmm. and now I'm feeling the repercussions for it. But I want to tell you wholeheartedly that at no point did I think that this was a bad arrest, mm-hmm. and at no point did I ever intentionally cause this or mischarge her or plan it or anything like that. There was never any ill intentions with this, right. And I promise you with everything in me that I was confident about this and I felt good about it, and I wouldn't have intentionally done this. This isn't the type of officer I am. This isn't the type of agency we are, and it's sure not the type of man that I want to be. I want to get that out there.
Okay. Can we agree before these charges were filed and you had went up the street and made other stops that you did not review your camera the entire stop? Because this happened at this was at 4:04. You get to the jail, I have to look at the timestamp. I mean everything is time-stamped from the time you got to the jail to the time you left the jail to the time you made your next traffic stop. There's no way you have reviewed this whole 42-minute stop to make these charges, and then the things that you put in this police report, it don't line up with what actually occurred. Can we agree to that?
We can agree for sure that I did not watch the entire stop from start to finish. I agree wholeheartedly. Okay. If I did review the stop, I reviewed it on that little screen.
Okay.
Just talking out of my butt here. If I reviewed on that little screen, maybe that's where I saw, hey, she moved erratically, because I'm looking at a dang 4x4 screen or whatever it is, mm-hmm. looking through two guns. Right. I know that I'm not going to intentionally lie on a report or to anyone. That's not who I am.
Okay. So
I would absolutely agree with you that I didn't watch the whole thing from start to finish. There's no doubt about that. Not at this point. If I did review it, like I said, it was on that small screen, and I just fast forwarded to a point where, yeah, that looks like she was moving.
Right. What about the digging in the waistline? Where did that come from?
It had to have come from me watching it on the little screen, and LT, I don't have an answer. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
What I want to drive home, Morphis, if you look at your report and you look at the charge in Arkansas, a class, because you didn't just charge her with possession, you charged her with tampering with physical evidence and obstructing governmental operations. So in your mind, the way the charges is lining up to your incident report, that she dug this dope out of her waistband and tried to hide them in the floorboard. Let's not forget the other charges that you put on her. So what is your evidence? I mean, what is your proof that she did this? How are you coming up with these charges? If you'd have just charged her with possession because it was there, but now you're saying that she's obstructing and she's tampering with evidence.
It had to have come from me thinking that it was in her waistband, and whenever she knew she was going to jail, she took it out and tried to hide it. Because I told her, I tell everybody, hey, if there's anything on you, tell us now. I don't want you to catch on the charge, bring it into the facility.
Right.
So that obstruction and the tampering would have came from me thinking that it was in her waistband or somewhere on her person, and she dug it out and threw it under the seat. The possession with intent, that came from DTF. I guess it's anything over a certain threshold. They always charge with intent.
But that, I mean, now these charges didn't come from you. These are your charges.
Right. But I'm talking to them like, hey, do we want to charge possession or do we want to charge possession with intent? I'm sure they told me with intent.
Okay.
But
understand that these are your charges.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I mean, that when you run her history, this is state police troop F.
Yes, sir.
This comes from you. So what I'm saying is, if you're saying that you're thinking that it came from her waistline without you ever even reviewing the entire stop to make that determination, you charged her with it. That's what I'm saying. You see where that's a problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know where the dope come from?
I've watched a video. Captain LT showed me a video prior to this stop, a couple days prior to this stop, that he was doing some moving in my back seat.
So, where's old Jeremy? Old Jeremy Whiteside. This cat here that you arrest on the 14th. This is the guy that had the dope, and I'm gonna show you this video. And I know they probably showed you him moving around in the back seat, but there was so many things that you and Tyler missed.
Right.
And again, man, just rushing, just poor police work.
It was bad. I agree.
Him no different than Amanda. You stop him, he's speeding, okay, but he stops. You go up there. Attitude. And this guy had a pistol in the car, man. Your officer safety, man. What if he wanted to do harm?
Yes, sir. It was bad.
This cat had all the main food groups. He had $3,600 cash, had a pistol. I mean, only dope runners can, move around like that.
Charge.
Absolutely. So let's see.
I'm just trying to get to my girl. So that's
Let's slow this down.
All I get. Just caught me at, where's the weed at? I ain't got the weed, sir. The car smells like, get out.
So you tell him to get out. He got the dope in his left hand. Watch what he do. Right down in his coveralls. He's trying to walk away from you. Tyler sees it, but he don't.
Yeah, and then we missed it.
I'm sorry, sir. What? I'm going to do a fender bender and you bored. I didn't know it was a fender bender, sir. What is that? I just got a work. You lost your life. I keep putting here for you.
up to the car. Charlie gets the money out. Did you see that? He stuck his hand right back in there to reposition it. Get it where he's trying to get it to be, pushing it down. When Charlie comes out, he goes right back in. Either one, nobody's looking, and so he's gonna. Yeah, go with search car because he got the dope on him.
So you think that it's okay to run 104? Well, the freak happens if somebody pulls out in front of you and you cause a wreck because you're running 104. I'm sorry. Sorry don't cut it when you freaking kill somebody because you T-bone them at a... It's stupid. It's stupid because I want to go check on my phone. No, it's stupid because you're running freaking over.
Back in there again. Blade his body, turning away from y'all, repositioning it, getting it where he wanted it so y'all can't find it. Slick, man. These cats slick. You count out his money, he had $3,600. Ain't nobody walking around with that kind of cash, man. He got a pistol in there. The way you went up there, if he wanted to do harm, man, you know, you guys would have been behind the 8 ball.
Absolutely.
He went in there again. So I know this is the video that the captain them showed you when it was. This is the moving erratically. This what it. And you gave him your spiel like you always do. I tell you, I watched 90% of your criminal risk. In this case. He didn't kick that crack. It was a little crack cookie. He kicked that crack cookie down to his pants leg. And as you all going to the jail, yeah, he ain't seatbelted. CYA, man, cover yourself, man. You slam on the brakes, he fly out there and hit that cage, that's on you.
Yes, sir.
I tell everybody the same thing. When we get in here, if there's anything you pockets you bring into jail, it's a felony. You don't need felony. So if there's anything on you,
Oh shit, let me
we
get
cross that door and we search.
I'll see you first.
Guns, knives, bombs, hand grenades, any kind of drug
No,
prescription or not.
the whole time cool, but he getting up off that dope. And it's back there the entire time. Either you didn't catch it at the vacuum, I don't know, but it's back there. And Amanda had to go through the whole deal because of it. You know, search people, man. You know, tell them to kick them boots off, kick them shoes off, man. Check these folks, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, and damn sure if you're gonna charge somebody with a felony, man, you play on people's life, man.
Yeah.
You know that. You know, you see all the time people be, you know, wrongly accused of stuff, man. Don't be that guy, man.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Right.
check, watch that video, sit her in there, go home, wait till upload and watch, and go back up there and charge her. Send it to the crime lab. Do your due diligence.
Yes, sir.
You know, don't. Oh, well, she's known for running dope. And when I talked to Frank, and I told him, because he was thinking it was meth, I told him it was crack cocaine. He sat back, he said, crack, that's rare.
Yeah.
That's rare for around here, you know. She ain't ever dealt with no crack. She did with meth.
Right.
You know, you got crack cocaine, man, that, you know. And she's telling you, you know, send it, watch the cameras. I think she mentioned something about sending it to the crime lab. So, do your due diligence, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, don't. Now you're bringing your police, your product, your craft. Now you got these prosecutors and these defense. I mean, they're going to be questioning it now, man.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Protect yourself from that, man. Do your due diligence. Do your work. You know, do your leg work, man. It was back there. Follow through with it. You know, if it ain't hers, it ain't hers,
Yes,
man.
sir.
We can't, you know, we can't just try to get a criminal arrest on somebody if it don't belong to them. And then now we adding tampering, and we don't. There's no proof that she tampered with any evidence, man. But we charged her with it,
Yes, sir.
and she had to go through the whole court process because of it.
Yes, sir.
So that makes us look bad. So
It
that's
does.
why she filed
Absolutely.
the complaint.
It does look bad.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, Morphis, that answers all my questions, man. You know this process. I have to go through everything again. I type it all up and I send it, and you get set for CSRB. You know, they're determined what policies, if any, were violated.
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't make that call. I just to present them with the facts. Okay. I'll be your point of contact if you have any questions. Once I get this file turned in, I send you a letter in the mail. That way you know that it's been reviewed, and your next correspondence will be to come back down for a CSRB.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can only present the facts, man, and then we'll just go from there. Make sure that's all I have. You have any questions?
No, sir. I just, again, I can sit here and come up with excuses, and none of them make a difference. But that's not me. That was me, right? And that was me for a time of my life, a time of my career, and evidently I'm having to face those repercussions. It's a learning experience.
For sure.
That's kept me awake the entire time. Like it's that bothers me, and I think it should bother me. That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. That's not. And I understand that there was a problem, and I'm working on it, and I'm fixing the problem. I just want to get that out there. That's not who I am.
Morphis, I appreciate you saying that, man. Been dealing with you on some of these things, and then watching the way you work on reviewing some of your videos, man. I know you're better than that, bro. You don't got to convince me. I know that. You know, key thing you said with this is a learning experience. Learn from it, man. You're too young in your career to get complacent.
Yes, sir.
Tighten it back up, man. Just tighten it back up,
Absolutely.
and you'll survive this. You'll get to a better place, but you know, it's unfortunate that you have to go through this deal, but you'll get past it, and you'll grow and you'll learn from it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, man. We're gonna go off record. If there's nothing else, the time is now 2:17 p.m. Let me go shut this other one off.